we go. You hear us knocking? Let us in then. Boston has entered the chat officially in a major way. Travis Thomas here with Ountae Campbell here inside the PNC Bank Studios. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be on the chat. This is our first episode of the chat together, bro.
Listen. You can catch us on Hold My Banner, of course, for all the latest in the Celtics and the NBA. Hold My Banner, as you know, you can get on Nesson's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, as always, make sure you follow us on all your social media accounts for all of our best content. But on Boston has entered the chat. This is our first together, my man.
Sir. Yes,
this is
sir.
history in the making.
Let's go. Let's do some more.
All right, let's get it. Well, first of all, as you all know, this is interactive. Ountae and I will run our mouths all show long, but we want to hear from you too. 617-790-0928. Make our hotline bling. Please, interactive show. We need to hear from you. You can also email us, the chat at Nesson.com. We got you covered there too as well. So break the internet and send us some emails. We will read them here. Tay, let's start with what's trending, what caught our eye.
Yep.
A lot of talk around the office about Bill Belichick and his and his personal life.
Yep.
So it's good to have Bill Belichick actual news in the news. Bill Belichick joining Inside the NFL as an analyst. Now, I got to tell you something. I was a huge Inside the NFL fan.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up, like, watching it. Like, I was all in.
Who were the guys when you grew up?
Well, it did change.
Okay.
But it was always on Showtime.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm not taking any shots here at the CW. Mm-hmm. But it ain't Showtime. And so what happened is, some years back, it went from Showtime to the CW, and I thought, well, that's peculiar. Mm-hmm. And then I tried maybe like the first episode on CW, and I said, well, this ain't the same.
Yeah.
So I say that all to say the Inside the NFL brand has changed. I'll be nice. It has changed. So I almost harken back to the glory days where Bill Belichick on Inside the NFL on Showtime back in the day is a much bigger story than it is now.
Yeah, now all I see is dollar signs because he's got to pay for that young lady that he's dating right now. He's got to keep up them checks. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I don't do unemployed unless your 401k is fat. So, you know, he's got to get that money up, get his pockets fat. So that's why he's doing this, Travis. That's why he's doing it.
That's your takeaway from all of this?
Yep, 100%. That's all I got to say about it. He'll get some good insight, though.
All right, Pirates pitcher Paul Skeens was pulled after 7 no-hit innings. He tied a career high with 11 strikeouts, so he had 99 pitches in this day.
Yeah.
He had 99 pitches, and getting pulled was a problem.
Yeah.
They pull him. Pirates immediately gave up a hit.
You're lying.
Why'd you pull him? My thing is this. I do understand that all these pitchers nowadays, their elbows explode.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So I get it.
Yep.
But this is a young fella who's lighting this league on fire. He's taking it by storm. Mm-hmm. Let him be great.
Yeah.
Like, just let him get a no-hitter. He's clearly, talent-wise, he has a talent to be an all-timer.
Yeah.
This is what it is. You want to be great? You want to be a GOAT? You want to be an all-timer? This is what you do, bruh. You get no-hitters. He was going to have a no-hitter, and you pulled him. For what? Because some nerd told you in the analytics department, well, you know, he's at 99, and according to my longitude and latitude, if he gets to 100 or 104, his elbow could explode at this radius. Shut up, nerd. Let the kid ball. He's an all-timer. We could be watching history here. But no, you pull him. For what? Some nerd? Please. Now you can't let the kid be great. He comes out a hit immediately. That's the baseball gods shaming you.
Well, I think anybody who watches Pirates baseball is watching for Paul Skeens and obviously O'Neal Cruz. So I kind of get the move a little bit. I know. Hold on. Here's my thing about it. All right?
How dare you?
Here's my thing, Travis. Okay, look, he has to pitch in the All-Star game, so this team is just protecting him a little bit. So I also hate the move because I do want to see. I want to see the history. I want to see history. I'm with you. I want to see history. But at the same time, they got to protect him because he's not getting the break that other people are getting on the team.
I'd rather him rest at the All-Star break then. Don't pitch in the All-Star game. Let me watch this no-hitter real quick.
They're not going to do that. He's
well, I'm
like
just
the
saying,
first rookie
I'm
to
just
do
saying
it.
if it's you got to choose, right?
Yeah.
Then let him rest during the All-Star.
And you know the MLB is going to have him start.
Of course.
So
he's a star.
Yeah. So the MLB probably was calling.
Like, get him out of there?
Manfred's calling like, yo, get him out. Get him out.
Man, I hate this. Like, let the kid be great.
Yeah.
This is what they do. All the greats, you name them. Nolan Ryan, Big Unit, Pedro. I mean, this is what they do. So what? This kid's never gonna have a no-hitter on his resume because you won't let him baseball? Like, come on, man. Let the kid be great.
Yeah.
All right, here's something I need your opinion on. This caught my eye.
Yep.
U.S. Appeals Court says some NCAA athletes qualify as employees under federal wage and hour laws. Yeah. So we're obviously so used to talking about NIL money and your big stars, Arch Manning, Shedeur Sanders. These guys get paid a lot of money from your local whatever or even national brands in some cases. But this is different, Ountae. Yeah. Now, I ask you because, for those of you who don't know and don't watch Hold My Banner, first of all, you need to. Secondly, Ountae played Division I. He went to Fresno State, and he went to UTEP. He played basketball at both. So being a Division I athlete, I feel like you can speak to this more. Now, to my understanding, NIL, as of now, everyone qualifies for it. Yeah. But there's really a select few or a handful, we'll call it, making money, especially significant money. Right. Then it gets even smaller. Right. As I read this, in this small, feeble brain of mine, I see it as like your I hate to use the term normal players, but your non-superstar players. Right. This just sets them up to get paid an hourly wage or however they're going to break it down. Right. To make sure they do indeed see some compensation. Is that fair for me to say? And then how does it land with you?
Right. So my first thought is it takes me to the walk-on. Like, I think, does this eliminate the walk-on from college sports? Because as I was thinking, like, we wouldn't have had the Hunter Renfrow story. Like, he started out as a walk-on at Clemson. Yeah. And then obviously ended up making those huge catches in the championship game. But he had a great, junior, senior campaign afterwards. I mean, before that, obviously. So it just kind of brings me back to that. So now if you kind of eliminate the walk-on, it's just like changing college sports as a whole. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of great stories. You always see the videos of the guy earning the scholarship and how happy he is or she is. That's going to kind of be gone. And then I also go to think about, like, how are these wages going to be determined? Do I go in, like, at work and I'm like, hey, I think I'm worth more? Do I clock in? Like, when I show up to practice, it's, all right, I'm on the clock now, blah, 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 whatever. Our coach is now going to be like, oh, this is a voluntary practice. Like, you didn't have to come, so I didn't have to pay you to show up, blah, 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 like doing that kind of deal. So I'm kind of like, I like it from the idea and the standpoint of that everybody's going to get paid, but now are we going to start to see less college athletes, less college programs, because maybe some of these programs who aren't making as much money get eliminated, because they're like, well, now we got to have a payroll basically and pay all of these people or these teams that aren't making money or bringing us money. So are we only going to have football and basketball, you know what I mean, in college athletics? Like, 20, 30 years from now, who knows? Right. It's really scary. There are some, obviously added benefits, but it's almost like when, the guys went to the O'Bannons, went to the NCAA and
they started all this.
Suit them over the video game. You kind of look at that as like it was a good thing. Like, okay, college players are going to be looked at as like respected and they need to make money because they're basically getting used. But then so many kids, you know what I mean, didn't get their opportunity to be in a video game or, you know what I mean, like have that opportunity to make money off of their name or something like that for a long time. And then now we're obviously seeing that they can make money off of their name. So, you know, it's just those things that there's some pros and some cons to it, but definitely an exciting day for the athletes who are in college athletics within the next couple of years.
You haven't been out of college that long.
Yeah.
Were you were pre-NIL, right?
Pre-NIL.
Okay. As you look at NIL and even this news today that some of these athletes could qualify as employees under federal wage and hour laws, how do you think your recruiting would have been different in this NIL era?
Yeah, I mean, in the NIL era, like I would have obviously just kind of looked – it was a huge decision, like based on like where I was going to college, based on like my mom. Honestly, like my family is a huge part of me. So, you know, without money involved, I went somewhere that was closer to home. That's why I went to Fresno State from Los Angeles, whatever. But with NIL, I'd have been like, hey, like
highest bidder,
whoever can really, you know, help us out, whatever. Like, I think, like, especially because I wasn't this 5-star recruit where it's like, oh, like the money ain't really, you know, what's a couple thousand when I'm making, you know, $150K, like what's a couple thousand, you know what I mean? So now with like that in mind, like I think I would have still ended up at Fresno State, but the money would have definitely, I mean, what kid was 17, 18-year-old is turning down money and gear?
So you might have looked closer to home. That would have been a prerequisite, but you would have went to the best business decision that was closer to home.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Also, just one note before we move on. Ountae will be working with my children who are young, getting their dribbling packages and their jump shooting up to par so that I can be a beneficiary of NIL.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, how about this? Jaylen Brown against Nike. Yeah. Jaylen Brown against Stephen A. Smith. Jaylen Brown against Team USA. Jaylen Brown versus everybody. Let's start with Nike.
Yeah.
So we know Derek White, Team USA.
Yep.
Took Kawhi's spot. Did not offer it to Jaylen Brown, to our knowledge.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown comes out, very cryptic on Twitter. And then not so cryptic on Twitter.
Yep. As
he takes a shot at Nike and says, Nike, this what we doing? This how it's going down? Insinuating that Nike is keeping him and Kyrie, who he has also been outspoken for, off of Team USA.
Yeah.
This is a lot to unpack for me.
Yep.
Jaylen Brown, let me preface my comments by saying Jaylen Brown should have been on Team USA really originally, if we're going to keep it real.
Yeah.
He should have been on this roster, period. Maybe over Kawhi, quite frankly, who was coming off an injury anyways, did not finish the postseason. Actually, for the last 2 seasons now, has not finished the postseason. Jaylen Brown's credentials are good enough to be on this team over a non-healthy Kawhi Leonard from the onset. Kawhi gave it the college try. They tried it, and it didn't work out for whatever reason.
Yep.
Now, if Kawhi goes home, which he did, Jaylen Brown absolutely should be on Team USA. Mm-hmm. The issue I have here is between the Nike stuff, the Stephen A. stuff, which we're going to get to, it just seems he's too combative. It's too much. It's now, which I appreciate about him. I like that he stands up to and fights the powers that be. I'm with all that.
100%.
He stands up for what he believes in. He's a man of conviction. He's a man of principles and morals. I love it. That part I don't have a problem with. But I think as it pertains to Team USA, they have the right to say, we don't want that. We don't want to get involved with that. We don't want you to use our platform to be staunch about whatever you believe in. So maybe he's right. He could be right. Maybe they are blackballing him, Nike and Kyrie, and keeping them away from team.
Yeah.
Maybe. He could be right. But I do believe Team USA does have the right to say we just don't want any parts of it. We don't care who's right, who's wrong, who's pointing fingers. We'll take Derek White over here, your teammate, who's just as good at defense, if not better, you could argue, although I'd take Jaylen. But he's just as good at defense, we'll call it. Not as gifted offensively, but good enough to be on this team. And another most important thing, outside of not rocking the boat in any way in terms of using the platform for your viewpoints, he also is just going to be so happy to be here. There's not going to be a playing time issue. No one's going to have to feel like we're not playing Derek White enough. We should play him more. You could feel that way with Jaylen Brown.
Right.
You could feel that way. He's a superstar. We need to get him in there too. Derek White does not have a superstar personality. Jaylen Brown is a superstar. Yeah. So by default, you bring another superstar personality into a group full of them. I sort of understand Team USA's spot here. I really do.
I get it from this standpoint, right? So with Nike, Jaylen Brown has been covering the check all year, right?
Right.
He's been wearing Nike shoes, but taking off, getting somebody to spray paint the Nike check off of the shoe or whatever. And so I get the fact that, like, Nike wouldn't want to have an athlete that is, outwardly against Nike. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I would get it from that standpoint if what Jaylen Brown is saying is true.
Yes.
Right? But from a standpoint, like you said, there's no question that this dude, he just represents, honestly, American values. He talks about whatever he wants to talk.
Peacefully protest.
Right, peacefully protest, free speech. He's a kid who came from nothing.
Yep.
That has grown into a smart individual. He's very smart. Everybody knows that he's super intelligent.
Yep.
Cal, student, whatever. But it's just got to be more like respect for him, like as a player. Like he has just been such a great player in this league. He's finals MVP for a reason.
Yep.
And he's shown, like you talk about unselfish and all this other stuff. What have we heard from him this year? Like, honestly, like on the court, he's never shown up any of his teammates. Off the court, he's never shown up any of his teammates.
They all love him.
They all love him. They all ride for him. He's just been a hardworking, quiet, like you said, peaceful protest kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? He has a fiery instinct on the court. He's supposed to have that.
He should.
Right.
We applaud him for that. We want more dog out of Jason Tatum.
Right.
And Jaylen Brown gives us all we want.
Right. It's better than what we see for Embiid. You know he'd be proud to wear that USA across his chest and understand what he's playing for, and hasn't had the opportunity to play for USA since 2014. Right. So he's starving for the opportunity to be on this team. But I understand what the supposed alleged decision is. But, like, he's that guy. So he should have been a part of this team, which you talked about.
Sure. I do feel bad for him in the sense that he didn't make the team, and it does feel unjust. But then when you see these battles, as we transition to the Stephen A thing, which really annoys me. It really does. I'm not going to lie. Like, the Stephen A one annoys me.
Yeah.
Because it annoyed me from the beginning.
Yeah.
I said it then, right here on the chat, and I said it on our show banner, where I said, like, bro, you are balling right now. At the first onset of Jaylen Brown and the first iteration of the beef between Jaylen Brown and Stephen A. Smith, where Stephen A. Smith said, he's not marketable. I'm hearing from my sources he's not marketable. At the time Stephen A. said that, first of all, that's Stephen A.'s job, mind you. So he was doing what he's supposed to do, stirring the pot, being a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown at that time was chasing a championship and 100%. Playing amazing basketball. Why are you stooping to this lev, bruh? And if you're going to do it after you got the title, my friend.
Right.
So I didn't love that. Where he comes back, he's like, well, what do you say? State your sources or whatever. Bro, come on. What are we doing, right? So Stephen A. doubles down because he's Stephen A. and he loves the attention. So I didn't love that. Now fast forward to Stephen A. sends a tweet saying, do y'all believe me now? Do I need to reveal my sources now? Is it not obvious now? How in the hell does a $300 million man, now a champion and an NBA Finals MVP, who's clearly a top 2 player on the Celtics and a top 15 in the world, not chosen for Team USA because his teammate not named Jason Tatum is selected before him? Come on, man. So of course, Jaylen Brown responds because why would you just let this? Why would you just let this be? I mean, you only have 300 million reasons to not care what Stephen A. says, and you got an NBA title, an NBA Finals MVP, but no! Jaylen Brown had to say, I'm not afraid of you or your resources, bruh. I mean, can you get more childish and petty than this nonsense? Now, this is where it's hard for me to defend Jaylen Brown because this is stupid. This is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So now we're going to go back and forth. This is what we're going to do. Bro, this is why Team USA did not want to be a part of the Jaylen Brown experience.
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah, it does definitely show that, like, I wish he was a little bit more mature in this situation because that's what Stephen A's job is to do. Get clickbait, right? Get a reaction out of you. That's exactly what he wants. So I'm all there with you. He just has to leave this alone. But, I mean, 2 tweets, it's not that big of a deal, right? Is it?
No, it's not that big of a deal because it's not – I think it's just bigger picture, Ountae. I think it's like, yeah, okay, in the macro of it's 2 tweets or going back and forth, is it that big of a deal? No, of course not.
Right.
But in the lens, in the scope of Team USA, and you have – well, they have more than 2 options, but for the sake of this combo, you have Derek White, who is a career role player, who's going to come in, not affect team chemistry. Mm-hmm. If anything, you upgrade in that. I know guys love Kawhi, but, you know, Kawhi doesn't talk, right? So there's that.
Right.
So now you're bringing in a guy who's actually going to bond with teammates and be communal and, like, have fun with dudes. Derek White, check. Defense, check. Offense, not as Jaylen Brown, not as gifted, but check. Mm-hmm. He can do it. If he doesn't play, because that's a possibility here.
Yeah.
Is he gonna tweet? I mean, is he gonna say something in the media? Take little veiled shots? No, he's not. Okay, check.
Right.
Jaylen Brown, everything I just said, check. Guys love him. Communal, all of it. Just as good a defender, if you couldn't argue better. Certainly more gifted offensively.
Yeah.
But he's kind of in a standoff with Nike right now, and he chirps with Stephen A. And we just watched him in several press conferences. I called him out for this. Several press conferences throughout the Celtics championship run. He's dropping F-bombs, and he's got an attitude because he wasn't All-NBA, and he's not getting any flowers. And, I think we'll take Derek White for 200. Thanks. That's what happened.
Look, I don't want anybody to walk away with thinking that we don't think Derek White is a good addition to this team. Because
of course he is.
He's a great addition to this team. He shot the ball incredibly well for this Celtics team.
Yeah.
He doesn't turn the ball over. He defends his arse.
He does.
To say, off. So I think this was a great addition for this team. Jaylen would have been a great addition as well. Yeah. So it's USA. Like, let's be realistic. They got LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis. Like,
Facts.
Bro, they have the super team. They have the Avengers. So who cares whether you add Hawkeye or you add Thor?
Facts.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You got the guy. So let's just rock with Derek White. They're going to win regardless. As we saw, they were like empty-handed or, had a smaller hand in the game against Canada. So, and they still won by 14. So they're going to, without Derek White, without KD. So they're going to win by 30 points anyways.
Regardless. And Canada's allegedly their top threat.
Exactly.
Too. And they shut them down. They didn't play particularly great. I thank you for saying that, Ountae, to be honest, because now officially we have made it clear that we are happy for Derek White to be on Team USA. You know who we haven't heard actually say that yet, but we've heard everything else? Jaylen Brown. And that's some of the problem here.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, can you just maybe just fight these battles? No problem. Cool. Great. But, be happy for Derek White. How about you put that out in the universe? You haven't done that.
Yeah.
You put out the Stephen A stuff. We just showed you the tweets. You put out, you're going at Nike. Good for you. Fight the good fight if that's what you want to do.
Right.
You haven't said, I'm happy for my brother, Derek White. We just did.
Yeah. It doesn't take much. It's very easy. He could have easily tweeted that out as well.
It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. Yeah. Hit us up, 617-790-0928. Tell us what you think about this saga. Also email us the chat at nesson.com. This is where there's that line of demarcation sometimes between fans and media, because Ountae and I have been pretty critical on this Jaylen Brown situation. Meanwhile, you look at the fans. Let's go to Twitter. They are riding for their boy. Look at this. Hey, Jaylen Brown, you know what would really piss him off? Back to back, baby.
Yes, sir.
Of course, you see the Twitter handle there, Championship Brad.
Yeah, let's give Championship Brad championship number 19 last year. Let's do it, Jaylen. Let's do it.
Oh, my gosh. Broke Brothers tweets. Jaylen Brown seeing Drew, Derek, and Jason play for the national team. He's just all in his lonesome.
All alone with no one else beside me. He's donkey.
Oh, no, bro. He got 300 M's. I think I'd be chilling. I wouldn't be tweeting, complaining, nothing. I wouldn't even be available.
Right.
Team USA could call me. I'm missing a call. It's going straight to voicemail.
Yeah.
It's like where it doesn't even ring.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
When you call,
right.
I know you've been there before.
And he's got a WNBA supermodel, so
facts. Bro,
he's winning.
Hey, that's a tough L.
Yeah.
When you call a phone and you expect it to ring and you expect to hear somebody on the other end and it goes straight to voicemail all day.
Yeah.
I'm getting triggered talking about it.
It's like those ones where they're like, who's the most famous person in your phone? I'm like, Travis Thomas. And they're like, all right, call him. You think you're answering? You go straight to voicemail? I'd be sick. I'd be, hey, you got to edit that out the video. You got to edit that out the video. I thought Travis was my friend, bro.
Oh, my God. I've been on the other side of that, too, though, where I've turned my phone off purposefully to send a message. Ooh. You heard me?
Yeah.
Auntae.
Yeah.
You call me and you get voicemail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I blocked people so they get that voicemail. I have. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe a smidge toxic, but I've been there before.
Damn, Tay.
Yeah.
So wait, I've never blocked anyone or been blocked that I know of.
Okay.
If you block someone and they call you.
Yeah. Straight to voicemail.
Oh.
And I don't get the messages either. So if they text me,
damn.
Crazy.
Damn, that is toxic.
Yeah.
If you're toxic like Ountae, please, we want to hear from you. And Boston has entered the chat hotline, 617-790-0928 for the first time ever. Just leave us your toxic stories. We want to hear them. You can also email us, the chat at nesson.com. Put in the subject, toxic.
Yeah. We'll actually hear those voicemails. Unlike getting blocked.
Yeah, we don't block you here at Nesson. Come on in, baby. All right, now I want to talk about, let's pivot to violence. Uh-oh. So did you see, I only saw this recently. I saw it today.
Yeah.
Colombia and Uruguay were playing in the Copa America semifinals.
Yeah.
And I had heard that there was a scrap, but I didn't see the video. Let's look at this, because I'm all in now.
Uh-oh.
Look at this. A little malice in the palace, Copa America style, baby. You got players punching fans, fans punching players. I mean, Ountae, this was insane.
God, yeah, that looks nuts, bro. That looks almost worse. I think I see a hammer fist going on in there. They got taekwondo, tai chi. Oh, man, a little Kung Fu Panda kind of action in there. So, yeah, that looks crazy, bro.
I love it. I need more of it.
Yeah.
So it got us to thinking, what's the greatest sports brawl of all time?
Okay. Well, look, I can't go greatest sports brawl for me of all time, but I'll tell a personal story. So,
actually, you punch somebody,
right? So no, heck no.
We're getting real toxic.
No, not that. But I was at a fight that was actually like pretty well known in the NBA universe. I was at the Clippers Rockets tunnel fight.
Oh, was that Chris Paul and all them?
Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. And the funniest thing about it is I was actually with George's cousin at the game.
George Malecki?
George Malecki. Shout out to George. You know what I mean? I hope he's having a great vacation right now.
What?
But yeah, I was with his cousin. He invited me to the game. I pulled up. Not a Clipper fan, obviously, back in the day. But I'm like, it's an NBA game. I'm showing up. So I pull up to the game, right? I'm thinking I'm getting a great action game, jam-packed, whatever. And all I see is they start getting chippy. Right? People start talking. Trevor Ariza was on the Rockets at this point. Blake Griffin, you know, he can be a fake tough guy sometimes. So he's out there trying to be a fake tough guy. Chris Paul is always talking smack. So I pull up to the game, and Blake gets his tights ripped near half court.
Uh-oh.
And so I was like, oh, he's not going to like that because, you know, Blake is a pretty boy. So
yeah,
he don't
of course.
You messing up with my swag,
right.
my drip, bro. You gotta see me.
Yeah.
So he starts getting mad, chirping, blah, blah, blah.
So you're peeping all this as it's leading up to.
Yeah. So we're at the game, whatever. I think the Clippers end up winning. So Chris Paul's mad now because, you know, he's the ultimate competitor. So he's mad. He starts pointing to the locker room like, hey, see y'all out back. See y'all out back. So, meanwhile, you know, I'm going home. I'm like, yo, that was kind of a crazy fight. We're listening to the radio on the way back, and they're talking about the police have been called.
Oh!
Chris Paul showed them a secret way. They got Clint Capella knocking on the front door as they're sneaking him, Trevor Ariza. I think like Josh Smith was still on the team.
Wow.
Like a couple of those guys, like the real thugs of the team, sneaking in through the back way, trying to get to the Clippers locker room, bro. So it wasn't a crazy actually brawl.
But just the
moment was just for me because I was there.
Right.
It was like, dang, like I was really at this. And like people were talking about it on television, sports television, sports radio for like weeks afterwards. So I like that one a lot.
I'm not going to lie, bro. There's no way I can follow that story. I almost wish I had gone first because mine is just so simple, and I want to be clear. I love Malice in the Palace, and the reason why I love it, I just want to be very clear. You know, I've been in this industry for a long time, right? Radio, TV, podcast, I've done it all. Behind the scenes and in front of the camera on the mic, okay? Yeah. Although I've always said I have a face for behind the scenes, but that's another topic for another podcast. One of the things that really chaps my arse is when fans say things like, oh, how could you not make that catch? You were wide open. Oh, how'd that guy miss that layup? I could do that. Oh, he struck out again. I could get one hit off of Skeens, I bet. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't.
Couldn't touch him.
Stay your fat ass right where you are on that couch, drink your beers, and eat your chips, and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing this a long time. I know what real athletes look like. I'm sitting right next to one, okay? I can't do a damn thing that he do. But I do this, and we could do this together. Right. Talk about sports.
Right.
I say all that to say, I loved the fact that these players went into the stands and beat ass. Because now, for that drunk moron who says, I give me a couple weeks, I could run a 4.44. No, the hell you can't.
So can't.
And when you get the hands put on you from a superior athlete, you feel the difference. Oh, you see it with your eyes and you don't respect it. I respect it. That's why I'm in this chair.
Yeah.
But when you feel them hands, oh, you know. Yeah. He's like, okay. I saw Jermaine O'Neal. I mean, he had a head start. Right. And he took somebody's head off. Ron Artest was throwing all kinds of – Ron Artest got it out the mud. Yeah. He was giving people the business. I loved every second of it. Malice in the Palace.
You know, it's funny that you say that because I was at Fenway a couple nights ago. And, you know, fans are like, oh, you know, especially with baseball.
Yeah.
I could have made that play. I could have did that. I was sitting at Fenway. We were, you know, down there near the third baseline. A ball ropes right over that Fenway fence.
Hello.
Fast, probably like 112 off the bat. Woo! Right off of somebody's eye.
Oh.
Dude was leaking. Paramedics were there for like 20 minutes. We were watching this dude trying to get help for like 2 innings. It was crazy. And then I was thinking the same thing. Like, yo, these people really think they could be athletes. And then when that ball actually starts moving, and I'm like, yo, Rafi's standing 90 feet away from that ball.
Oh, my God.
We're all the way in the outfield towards the monster.
Right.
So I'm like, we're way out here. That ball's a little bit slower. We got more reaction time. So it's crazy that you say that. But those are the moments that definitely remind me that, yeah.
No, it's different.
It's different.
It is different. And look, I played sports at a high school level, and I know the difference in just playing from the level I did to Division I, for God's sakes. I always tell people this. Play catch, whether it's baseball, football, whatever it is. Play catch with, like, your buddies, and then play catch with, like, an actual athlete. And tell me if you can't feel and see the difference. Yeah. It's literally that simple.
It is.
It's completely different. And so, Malice in the Palace, it changed the NBA. It changed a lot of things. It was obviously terrible for the league and all that. I loved every second of it.
Thank God Jermaine O'Neal slipped.
Yeah, bro. Facts. He got to run and start, but he was off balance because he slipped. Yeah. All right, here's some Super Bowl halftime show rumors. Now, we know the halftime's in Nolans this upcoming season.
Nolans.
But Miley Cyrus, right now, leader in the clubhouse, allegedly, to be the halftime show. Now, you are from the Hannah Montana era.
Tony Montana.
I mean, are you hyped up for Miley Cyrus at halftime?
No.
Why are you giving that look?
I'll never forgive Miley after freaking in the club. With the J's on, tatted up, mini skirt. With
Come
my
on, man.
J's
That
on.
was her hip hop era. I respect it.
Nah. She'll never be forgiven for that. Miley, don't ever come back to
She only
a rap
did it
game.
like once.
I don't care. And Wrecking Ball when she had the hair cut off and everything. Yeah, she was almost in her Lindsay Lohan era. I wasn't rocking with that.
So you're not feeling Miley. Who do you want then?
You know who I want?
Taylor Swift?
No, Taylor would be kind of dope too. I would love her. But as we talk about the female singers, I would love to see Adele.
Oh.
I think Adele would be.
Okay, hold up. Time out.
Yeah.
I'm not hating.
Okay.
I want to preface this by saying this is not Adele hate.
Does she have enough?
No, I think she has enough.
Okay.
It's the tenor. Adele is like breakup music, or fall in love music. Taylor Swift, put some respect on her name.
Yeah,
she has breakup music, she has fall in love music, but she has bops too. Shake it off, shake it. She got bops. Adele, I think, I could be mistaken. I think Adele just has swooning and ballads. She ain't got no damn club bangers.
We don't need the club bangers.
Yeah, you do. It's a halftime show.
She has friends. She's going to invite somebody. We're going to see somebody.
So Adele and friends.
You know what I mean? Like Adele and like a Billie Eilish or something like that.
It's still ballads, right? Like, I don't want to hear.
What does Taylor do?
But again, she can give you variety,
like
though.
Two. She has like two bops.
Hell nah. See, now you ain't on Taylor. They coming for you. Them Swifties. You better take it back.
Hey, I don't want no smoke. I love Taylor Swift.
Put him on the ISO cam, Ryan.
I don't
apologize.
I don't want no smoke, Taylor Swift fans, Swifties. Look, I'm saying in the argument against Travis here to my right, like, Adele has songs that are, they both have songs, but they both sing breakup songs.
They do. All right, let me ask you this. Let's just change the whole gear.
Okay.
It's in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Can we get a Wheezy F baby?
Wheezy F baby, and the F is for front though.
Can we get a Wheezy F baby in New Orleans? Because if you get Wheezy, we both can agree he's got hits.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. You got to keep him sober so he remembers everything.
Yeah.
But give him some water, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Let him do his hits, so he's the headliner.
Yep.
Then you bring out Cash Money.
Yeah. So Cash Money, are we including Drake?
Yes, because there are different iterations of Cash Money.
Right.
I need Juvenile and all them.
You're working with some. Yeah,
yes. Exactly. And then I need YMCMB. Then I need Drake and Nicki and all them. Mm-hmm. I need all that.
Yeah.
That's a full show.
Yeah. That would be dope. A full show also brought me to. I would love to see DJ Khaled as well.
Yeah.
I think he would bring out a gaggle of people.
Gosh, he would. Yeah, he would. And he'd be hyped up, too.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so give me your top 3 Super Bowl halftime shows of all time that you've seen with thine eyes.
Can we go band for band on this?
Yeah, let's do it. You go first.
I'll go first. I'll give you Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake.
Oh, that was a great halftime show.
Yeah. I think that was 2004, right?
Yeah, it was just overshadowed because of what happened,
Yeah,
right?
so I love the fact that they came in with like, I like the way you move, with Outkast,
The band.
John, and then she did All For You, which was really dope, and then obviously finishing with Dance With Me with JT, and we know the moment.
Well, that's the problem. That moment like overshadowed how great that performance was.
Yeah, and it had a lot of different artists in there as well. We had some rock in there, hip hop, R&B. So I loved it. Pop. It was a great just like collection of like what music was like at the time in America. So I liked it.
I'll be honest. I feel like if that incident never happened, the wardrobe malfunction, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
That's an all-time performance. Like it would probably get more flowers in terms of all-time performance.
Fact.
I will say this, at the time that happened, I was in college, and I was home visiting my parents. So I watched that Super Bowl with them, and I got married long time later, years later. So now I understand. But at the time, I was laughing at my dad because he was just building a doghouse. Like he rewound that wardrobe malfunction 5 times.
Oh my God.
But the way he did it was very slick. He was like, did I see that didn't happen, did it? Now we gotta watch. Cause I know he didn't just and then after like 2 times my mom was like with it. Like, yeah, I can't believe it. Let me see that again. Cause I know he didn't do that. After the second time, I felt the temperature change. My mom was like, all right, now we done watched this twice. What are we? And I said,
sat up straight like that?
So what are we doing? I said, Dad, I get it. I think we saw it. Well, let me see one more time. Well, all right. So it taught me a lot about marriage early on.
God.
I'm going to LA's Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay.
Not only was that the greatest halftime show I've ever seen.
Right? 22.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only was that the greatest Super Bowl halftime show I've ever seen, that is the second greatest rap concert I've ever seen in my damn life.
Yeah.
Second to only Kendrick Lamar, who was a part of the one I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
But Kendrick had his own this year that was amazing.
Yeah.
But that LA Super Bowl halftime show in LA, oh my God, that adds to it. Fantastic stuff. I have never seen a better hip hop concert until this year.
Yeah, that was the second one that I was gonna point out as well. So I'm glad you brought it up. When we come out to the next episode by Dre, and then 50 comes out and he's upside down, not in the best shape. Right. Then we got Mary J. Blige doing Family Affair.
Kendrick,
bro, his part was like a music video. It was crazy,
dog.
Like he was like, they had the camera cuts. It was zooming in and out and everything like that. It was crazy. And then finishing up with Eminem being on there for Still Dre and bringing out all the rest of the crew who I just mentioned. Yeah, that was a dope one for sure.
Okay. The second one on my list, I'm gonna harken back to the lesson I learned watching my father and mother during the wardrobe malfunction Super Bowl, and I'm just gonna simply say my second one and move on to Ountae's. Shakira and J-Lo. Super Bowl halftime show.
Why, Trav?
I thought it was musically and sonically beautiful.
Yeah.
Next on your list.
Yeah. So next on my list, I have Beyonce. 2013. She did great.
Was that the Lights Out one?
It was like, the Lights Out, but she starts out, doing what she does, just running through a couple of songs here and there. And then when she brought out Destiny's Child, that's when I knew I was in. Like, she brought them back together because I remember everyone was talking about their group like, they're never going to be friends again. They don't like each other, blah, blah, blah. And they killed all that noise. Did Bootylicious, did Independent Woman, did Single Ladies Together, which is Beyonce's song. So for them to do a Beyonce song when their Destiny Child showed that they still had love and appreciation for her. So, yeah, and then she ended it with Halo and got everybody all teary-eyed before we watch a great Super Bowl. So.
Well, remember, the lights went out because of Beyonce. Her Super Bowl halftime show performance was so damn good, they couldn't even pay the light bill.
Yeah.
And we had to wait for that great second half, by the way. That was 49ers Ravens in that Super Bowl. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
All right. And then lastly, the GOAT. I mean, look, I remember Michael Jackson, but vaguely. I was kind of young.
Yeah.
I remember Prince. And man, Prince at halftime in the rain, singing Purple Rain. Come on. I mean, you couldn't script that better in Hollywood.
Right.
Like, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So Prince at halftime is the GOAT of all GOATs to me. But I would, before we get out of here, just like to give a special shout out to J-Lo and Shakira. I just don't believe that their halftime show gets enough love. So as a lover of music, I would like to personally give you two props and the flowers that you deserve. So shout outs to J-Lo and Shakira. And for all of our best content of the day,
Jesus Christ.
make sure you follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. For Travis Thomas and Ountae Campbell,
Yes, sir.
here inside the PNC Bank studio, we thank you for being a part of Boston Has Entered the Chat. And until next time, when we enter it again, peace.
Deuces.